Guys, it's your girl, Ashley Kirkwood with the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast, where we teach you how to start at the top of the speaking market instead of working your way up from the bottom. During this show, you will hear solo episodes from me, where I'll show you how I have landed and negotiated 5- and 6-figure speaking contracts and licensing deals. You'll also hear from our amazing guests who have grown enormous speaking businesses by utilizing sales and marketing principles that work. If you want to grow your speaking business, listen to this podcast, and then afterwards, head on over to ashleynicolekirkwood.shop and grab my book, Speak Your Way to Cash, How to Start at the Top of the Speaking Market Instead of Working Your Way Up from the Bottom. Ready to dive in? Let's go. Hey, y'all. What's up to the Speak Your Way to Cash family? It's Ashley Kirkwood back again with another podcast episode. But this time, guys, I am actually going to let you listen in to a live video that I recorded. Now, if you're listening to this live video on the podcast and you're like, I want to join your next live, I want to ask you questions, I want to be able to get feedback about my business, then you have to follow me on Instagram at the Ashley Nicole Show, and make sure you're following the Speak Your Way to Cash Facebook page. All right. Make sure you're following the Speak Your Way to Cash Facebook page, because that's where I go live. I also sometimes go live in the Speak Your Way to Cash Facebook group, but enough about that. Even though you may have missed it live, you're about to hear it again. So listen into this live episode and let me know what you think. You can always send me an email to ashley@speakyourwaytocash.com. Let's listen in. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Ashley Kirkwood with the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast. And I am also an attorney who owns a firm called Mobile General Counsel. And what I do is I help speakers, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders land large contracts. And I'm so excited to be here with you guys today at the top of Q4, okay? At the top of Q4 to discuss Q4 planning and setting your 2022 rates, okay? Q4 planning and setting your 2022 rates. Good morning. Good morning, Jason. And so I'm thrilled to be here and to chat with you guys about this topic. And we're going to cover a couple of things, but I'm going to foreshadow to you what we're going to cover today. So I actually took notes. It's all organized this morning. So you all are in for a treat. All right. So I can stay on track and on schedule. So number one, we're going to talk about rate versus worth. We're going to talk about the 3 business options that you have for Q4 in terms of planning for your business. And then we're going to talk about tips to win in Q4 and then where y'all should be in November. Okay. So boom. But I want to start off with a morning read. And this morning read is really about, it's on page 15 of the Speak Your Way to Cash book. I'm reading the soft cover today. Typically I read the hardcover, but it's about your rate versus your worth. And I think this will just help to frame the discussion for today. Okay. So y'all are getting behind the scenes stuff. Whenever I do a read for a book that's not even out yet, y'all are getting behind the scenes stuff. All right. So let's get into it. What mindset do you need? You never can be paid your worth, but your rate is a requirement. Your rate, be it $100, $100,000, or a good meal, is not your worth. Your rate is not your worth. Why? Your gifts are worth more than money can buy. When you equate your rate, what you're paid, to your worth, you'll lack the confidence you need to increase your rate. Allow me to illustrate. If I thought all I was worth was what I was paid for my first speaking engagement, I would have never thought I was worth, or I would have thought I was worth that $175 the client paid me. It would have been impossible for me to pitch a proposal for $900,000 or land a multi-6-figure corporate contract. If you struggle to raise your rate, it's likely because you're confusing rate and worth. And believe me, they are 2 totally different concepts. Even if I'm being paid $1 million for a speaking engagement, I'm not being paid my worth. I'm just being paid my rate. Do not mistake your rate for your worth. Okay? So boom, that's how we're going to frame the discussion today. Don't mistake your rate for your worth, regardless of what you're paid, whether it be very high or whether it be not so high yet. So that's really important to remember, because what I find, especially with speakers, service providers, those folks that actually do the work, people have to get out there and do the work, it is difficult to rate. It's easy to conflate your rate with your worth, because people are literally paying us for our services, for the things that we provide. And so if we're not careful, we'll confuse the two. And let's say this year your rate to speak was $5,000. Well, If you think that $5,000 is what you're worth, you'll never be able to raise it. Because it'll be like, how could I do that? Or you'll feel uncomfortable saying your new rate, talking about your new rate, explaining your new rate, because you think you're worth what you've been paid. Same is true if you're in corporate America. I have found that, like, before I became an entrepreneur, most of you have heard this story before, I was a corporate attorney. My salary at the time was around $200,000, and I wanted to negotiate a raise. Well, I had to negotiate, or what I negotiated was a $100,000 raise. So I went from 200 to 300 before I left to become an entrepreneur. And the only way I was able to negotiate that was because I did not confuse the fact that this one company was paying me something with that's what I was worth. People pay what you tell them to pay at the end of the day. And some will pay and some won't, right? But at the same time, you want to be the person to set your rates clear-headed, understanding your rate is not your worth. Now, what do you set your rate on? What do you set your rate based upon? Well, I'm going to be honest with you guys, and this may comfort some and not so much comfort others. Most people set their rate based on their confidence, based on what they're comfortable telling the client, what they're confidently comfortable telling the client. Some people set their rates based on what their coach tells them to set their rate at. What I like to set my rate at is I need to set my rates so that I can comfortably pay my team, hire a team, fulfill the obligations of the contract without hating the work that I'm doing. Because the truth is, no matter how much you love your work, no one is going to be underpaid for an extended period of time and not get burned out. Because when you're chronically underpaid, I'm going to just use that. I don't even know if that's a thing. But when you're chronically underpaid, what happens is, even if you wanted to let go of some of the burdens, and even if you wanted to ensure that you weren't working so much, you don't have the capital to hire out, okay? You don't even have the capital to hire out. And now here's the thing. In the Speak Your Way to Cash book, let me give you guys, like, starting on page 241, and I'm saying the page numbers because those of you who have your tickets to Speak Your Way to Cash Live, this is coming at you in just a couple weeks. You're getting it before everyone else. So on page 241, we talk about taking your speaking business to the next level and hiring a team. And the only way you can do that is if you're not chronically underpaid, okay? Because it costs money to hire good people. And you're going to want to hire some good people. So all of that to say, don't set your rate for where you're at now. Set your rate for what you're building. And set your rate for the transformation you're going to provide to the client. How will they be able to take the information, use it, and see results in their business? Now, if you don't know that, if you're purely a motivational speaker or you provide a service and you can't articulate the value, well, then that'll explain. Then your rate probably it may not get you there. You have to be able to articulate the value. And let me help some of you guys out that have soft skills, that have skills that you're like, well, all I do is teach people how to, become better moms or how to become better spouses. And I can't put a value on that. It's not about the monetary value all the time. So you don't have to be someone, like me, I speak on sales and confidence and I can draw really clear lines to the money. But you don't have to be someone that speaks on sales or how to make $100,000 or how to build a 6-figure contract. You could speak on a soft skill and still quantify the value. How do you do that? Market research. Now, I know a lot of people don't like when I say that because I believe that one of the negatives of the information age and online marketing and all this stuff is people are hungry for how to make $1 million without doing anything and sitting on your couch watching Netflix. I don't know how to do that. I want to be very clear. I have zero clue how to make $1 million while sitting on my couch watching Netflix doing absolutely nothing. I don't teach that. Now, there are people that do that. I imagine tech company founders and others and all those folks. When you are in a service providing industry and you're at the beginning of that build, you don't have a team that can seamlessly run your business for you without you being heavily involved. That's really difficult to do. What we teach and how we are setting up our speaking company, our consulting firm, is such that we plan and we implement systems that eventually we can hand off. So what I have experienced this year for the first time is me sitting at home asleep while one of my employees was doing a paid speaking engagement and I was in the bed. I have experienced that. So I do like that. I plan to do more of that in the future, but that's typically not where you start. Most of you right now aren't at the place where you can give your PowerPoint slides, your talking points, your framework, and your customer map to an entirely different person and they run with it. But you can get there. But it requires you first building out your signature framework, having talking points for each of your presentations that are well annotated, having science and data to back that stuff up, having a framework, and then actually creating a customer map, which is, when I say customer map, what I mean is something I talk about in the Speaker Ready Cash book, how your customers go from, I don't know who you are, to yes, let me rebook you. Ours is 13 points. And don't worry, if you're coming to the event, one of the exercises we're going to do is I'm going to show you my customer map and you're going to fill out your own and we'll walk through that. I believe we're gonna at least talk about that, right? And you'll have a customer map in your book that you can work with. We do work on building your customer map in our Speaker Ready Cash Academy as well. So I just want you all to know, like, it may not be easy. It is going to take some work, but there are some things you can do. So we've talked about rate versus worth. Now let's talk about your options for Q4. I believe you have 3 options. You can attempt to accelerate your business this last quarter, like get more money in the door that counts towards 2021's revenue. So you can try to grow your business this year, right? Or you can grow your business. I don't want to say try, y'all gonna do. You can grow your business. That's an option. You can maintain, meaning you don't want no dips. You don't want to lose any customers at the end of the year, but you don't want to gain anyone new. You want to maintain. And to be honest, even if you want to maintain, there may be some work that you need to do in order to maintain. The other thing you can do is you can pare it down. You can pare it down. All right. You can pare it down, meaning like you're not trying to grow. You're not trying to maintain. You're trying to offload. You're trying to offload. And depending on where you're at and what you're doing, there may be strategic business reasons to try to do all 3. We are growing in Q4. We're growing in Q4. We're hosting our event. We're inviting people to work with us. We're growing in Q4 and we're strategizing for 2022. So we're developing our hot list for 2022 so we can start making initial contact this year that will produce revenue next year. So we're trying to set ourselves up for a really powerful Q4. I think we're going to have a huge Q4 and then we're going to have a really good Q1, but we got to plant those seeds for Q1 in Q4. And if you're a speaker, and I'm saying Q4, Q1, basically there's 12 months in a year. For most people, they break up their quarters in 3 months, right? January, February, March. So the first 3 months of the year would be Q1, the second 3 months, Q2, third 3 months, Q3. Right now we're in Q4. So Q1, January, February, March, we are setting ourselves up now for a really powerful Q1. And then what we're going to do this year that we normally don't do, guys, I'll be honest, we normally don't do this. We're going to develop a written 5-year plan because I have some, and we're going to plan our products for next year. So next year I am planning to release another book. I already have the team together to get it done and we've already started outline. And this book hasn't even released, but we want to have a realistic plan for the release so that I'm not as rushed as I was this year. So I can have a more peaceful Q1 and Q1, January, December and January, I want to take it a little bit more easy, like relax and replenish. So I'm working in my rest plan. But we do have our company retreat for the law firm, Mobile General Counsel, in December, early December. So we'll be in Arizona doing our second out-of-state retreat with the team. So that's exciting. But those are your options. You can grow, you can maintain, you can pare it down. Whatever you do, you want to be strategic and you want to really think through, like, what do I want this last quarter? What am I going for this last quarter? That's really important. So if you want to grow, you need to be making offers. You need to be making offers. And I'll tell you, and I think I've said this before on the podcast, for those of you that have a mix of services that you provide. So we serve corporate clients and we serve individual speakers through Speaker Ready Cash. We have corporate and college clients, and then we have individual speakers. Obviously, you all know that because many of you are like a customer of Speaker Ready Cash. You've taken a challenge, bought a course, pre-ordered the book. You're typically an individual speaker entrepreneur, but we have our corporate clients too. On the consumer side, the individual speakers that we serve, we've still done really well in sales. We've done better than we've ever done in sales this year for Speaker Ready Cash on the individual speaker side. However, we have worked harder than we've ever worked to do those sales. And what I account that to, and I've seen this trend in some of my other clients, it is not like it is because there's so, because there are so many people saying so much in the marketplace. You have to be consistent. Your content needs to be out there, and it is taking a multi-pronged approach to sell now more so than before on the consumer side of my business. And I would even argue to say on the corporate side too, because we've done webinars, we've reached out directly, we've had phone calls, we've asked for referrals. So we've taken an approach that was multifaceted. And I know that may not be good news if you're like, I just want to do one thing. I want to be really, really, really simple. And I guess you can do that. But, the way my goals are set up, we've had to really take a more aggressive approach to selling. It has been more of a contact sport than ever before. Okay, great question here. Is the customer map in the book also? Yes, it is. It's in the book. So one of the things that I will say, and I'm saying that to you all because if you feel like, man, this year I've wanted to sell more, I've wanted to get more business in, and it just wasn't working. I have found in my business this year, this is purely anecdotal. And I work with so many business owners, you guys. So I see a lot, both through my firm and through Speaker Ready Cash, working with all of you. I have found it has taken more to sell this year than ever before. Okay. And so what that has meant for us is that we have doubled the amount of episodes we put out on the podcast. I don't know if you all are avid Speaker Ready Cash podcast listeners, but shout out to Speaker Ready Cash fam on the podcast. Absolutely love you guys. And so excited that so many of you are coming to the event so I can meet you in person and hang out in person or virtual. I don't know what y'all situation is, which ticket you all bought. But we've increased the amount of episodes we put out. We put out a bonus episode yesterday just because it was because today is the last day to get your welcome box for the Speaker Ready Cash. I don't even know where the box is, but it's the last day to get your welcome box. So what we did was we put out a bonus episode yesterday. So this week there will probably be 3 episodes on the Speaker Ready Cash podcast. We have committed to doing live videos and going live in Clubhouse more this year. We go live everywhere, including both of my Facebook pages, my personal Facebook page, my LinkedIn page, and YouTube, all at the same time. And so all of this means it's taken a lot more. We've also increased the amount of times we've posted to Instagram. So we have some posts that go out twice a day, pre-scheduled. Now, I'm not doing all this live, nor alone, thank God. But, it is happening consistently. So I will steer the ship and then other people will get it down. And then we've also committed to doing emails. We do emails. People who follow me are like, Ashley, I get an email a day from you. And I'm like, do you? I don't feel like it. This week, you probably got an email a day. Next couple of weeks, you may get an email a day. But normally I would try to schedule my emails at least 3 times a week, every week of the year. And I did that because I looked at my numbers last year. And when it comes to Q4 planning, I'm going to give you guys another tip. I looked at my numbers last year and I found that we had about $13,000 that came directly from email. Now, that's not a lot, right, in the grand scheme. But what that means is that means that $13,000 of revenue came directly from people clicking a link in an email and buying at that same time that I sent the email out. And so that was good for me because I was like, I don't even know if people are reading these emails because I'd be like, respond, don't nobody respond. And I really do check my emails, guys. So if you respond to my emails or you email me, it is typically me checking it because I'm very anal. And even though I have admins that check it, I still check it too. I am working on that for 2022, delegating and leaving it alone. But for now, I still actually check the email. So it can feel like when you're doing a podcast or you're sending out emails, it doesn't seem like people are responding or reading or getting it, but they are. And my YouTube videos, let's just have a real talk here, right? My YouTube videos will have 3 or 4 views. And then I look at who's attending my event and I'm like, how did you learn about it? Or how did you learn about me? Or where do you watch me? And people are like, oh no, I'm on Clubhouse. I watch your YouTube videos. I bought my ticket because you mentioned it on the podcast. So it may feel like these things aren't working, but they actually are. And with anything in your business that works, if you want it to work more or you want to scale the efforts of the thing, you typically double the output. So if I'm putting out one episode a week on my podcast and I can trace 20 grand directly to the podcast, then okay, we're going to put out 2 episodes a week on the podcast and we should see an increase in the output from that medium, right? And so that's kind of how you want to start evaluating for Q1, right? For your 2022 plans, you want to start to see like, all right, cool. I've gotten 12 grand from this email. We send them out once a week. I don't love sending out emails. Well, then can I? Absolutely, Jason. Jason said, thanks so much for sharing this. Can I, double the amount of emails that go out, but schedule them and work with a copywriter to write my emails so that I'm putting out emails every week, no matter what, because I want to see that revenue line increase from emails, because guess what? Emails are things you can schedule. You know what else you can schedule? Your live videos. I'm live right now. So you all can see me. I can see your comments, all of that great stuff. But I am not next year. And I've kind of foreshadowed this before. I'm putting out this book so y'all can get this knowledge in this book. All right. So everyone needs to buy the Speaker Ready Cash book. I'm doing this event so people can get this knowledge. I have an accelerator happening next year. A 3-month group coaching program just for speakers. It will launch at the event. It'll probably fill up just from the event. But if it doesn't, we'll have like a couple seats for people who didn't attend the event to possibly come and learn about it. But that's like it. After that, my focus is on large corporate clients, period. Because when I think about how I have to market to land a corporate client, it is far less stressful than how I market to land an individual coaching client. So that's the other thing you want to consider is I can now look at what we did to market this event and what we did to sell all these tickets. And by the way, we are at 79 tickets. So we're going to be, look, I don't know who number 80 is, but number 80 needs to go on and get their ticket. So we're at 79 speakers, and I can look at all the things we did to sell tickets to this event. And when I put them all in a chart and I look at the expenses and the cost, now I have to evaluate, okay, this was the result, which we won't know until after the event, how much money the event actually makes. We know how much we've spent, which is hefty, right? So now we have to look at, all right, this is what we made from the event. This was the cost. This was all the things I had to do to sell this event and make this amount of money. Do I want to do that again? Because here's what happens when people do events. And I know why people do this, but I'm not,
It is here. The Speaker Ready Cash book is now available for you to purchase. Go to Amazon to get your audio, Kindle, or hardcover copy of the book. And we have a paperback copy, okay? So you can get it on Audible and listen to it. And I read it myself. So if you love the podcast, you will love the audiobook. Go get it now. Speaker Ready Cash, how to start at the top of the speaking market instead of working your way up from the bottom. A bit about the book. It's broken down into 6 parts, and it is over 260 pages of goodness, okay? Part 1 covers mindset. Part 2 covers getting yourself in the press. Part 3 covers assembling your 6-figure offer. Part 4 covers inviting people to work with you, sales. Part 5 covers delivering an outstanding speech. And Part 6 covers legalities that every speaker needs and how to build a team. I mean, literally, what did we leave out? Nothing. So go to Amazon and grab your copy today. And let me know you did it too.
I don't have to do this because I have corporate clients, thank God. So I don't have to do these little these things that people do. But one of the big things people do when they host an event and it does really well financially is they're like, I made $700,000 in a weekend. But really though, what happened was you promoted that event for a whole year and then you made $700,000. And so you made $700,000 from a year's worth of work. And so, yeah, it's cool that it came in a weekend, but the reality is what was the output to get all the people to the event, to make them an offer, to make the money? It's typically not in a weekend. You know what I'm saying? So I don't get caught up in that. And I think how we evaluate what we're going to do in 2022, what our prices will be in 2022 is what's the output? What is my capacity to serve personally? How well is the team set up to take some of this off my plate? How strong is my team? because Speaker Ready Cash's team is not the same as Mobile General Counsel's team. We have a really strong team on Mobile General Counsel side. It's nowhere near based on me. My associate is great. We've always had a robust law clerk program, which we do have a law clerk position open right now. But for the most part, the team is really strong. We have backup contract attorneys. We have ethics counsel. We have a really strong team that I've built over years. So I can offload some of the sales to my team on Mobile General Counsel side. Speaker Ready Cash compared to Mobile General Counsel is still relatively new. So the team is more so developing. Like this company, Speaker Ready Cash, grew so organically, literally from a podcast to an event, from an event to a coaching program, to like what it is now. All of that happened organically as a direct response to what people were asking me to teach them. It's an evolution. So it's very different. And right now, I'm the main coach for Speaker Ready Cash. So when you all sign up to work with me at Speaker Ready Cash next year, you'll literally be working with me, and we have some other coaches, but I'm still showing up to do the bi-weekly calls. I'm still going to be critiquing your work. And I know a lot of coaches also like push that off on other people. Maybe we will eventually, once we bring in someone who has conquered our system and can really teach it in a way that I believe has high integrity. But until that point, it's going to be me for next year. I'm not committing to years after that, but for next year, it will literally be me. That means the output is different. The output is different. And so I have to look at, what do I really want to do? Am I prepared to put out this much output for this return? Or do I need to switch it up? The other thing we look at, guys, is what brought in the most amount of money for the businesses and what didn't. And I want to be very clear about this. We drop products every year. So if something brought in $2,000, but it gets like, I don't know, 5 or 10 complaints from people like, oh, I need my login for this. And it was like a $10 webinar. I'm not doing that anymore because I don't have the capacity for that. Okay. So we have some really big programs, and then we have like the book and our courses and things of that nature. But we have to look at, what are the customer service complaints, if any? And thankfully this year we did not have a lot. And then what does it take to like facilitate that? And how much money is it bringing in? And is it worth it? Because we still have a small team. And the truth is, I don't really want to hire 10, 15 people at this point, because that also takes a lot of energy from me. In the beginning, when you're hiring, you're still, even if you hire people, I mean, I just feel like people make this look so glamorous. So I want to tell you guys the truth. Even when you hire people, you still have to manage them, make sure they do their jobs, make sure they don't have any questions, answer all of their questions, etc. It's not like you're bringing on a business partner that's going to literally run the business when you're gone. No, you're hiring an employee. Employee, by definition, means you give them the tools to do their job. You give them the training to do their job. You train them on how to do their job. You manage them in doing their job. You promote them. You're responsible for having a promotions track for them. You have to give them KPIs, like if you hit this, you get a promotion. If you hit this, you get a bonus. All of that still falls on you. So yeah, you may not be doing the underlying work, but you still have to do the management, and that's work, which is why there's jobs, entitled manager. I don't really love managing, right? Which is why we brought on Chris, because he likes it a little bit more. But until you document your brain, until you put processes in place for everything, and even then, people have diverse learning styles, and you're responsible for how your team members learn, you're still going to be doing work. You're still going to be doing work. So all of that is going to be work. So we look at what brings in the most business. Okay. We kick out stuff that doesn't bring in a lot of business that we're still paying to administer. If it's purely passive, we'll keep it. But if we're still paying to administer it and I got to pay a technology fee to keep it running, that's not going to work. Then we look at what we're spending on infrastructure. For us, since we're predominantly virtual, infrastructure involves what technology tools we're actually paying for every month. And we figure out whether there's any overlap. And we look at our payroll expenses, and based on the people we're paying, we look to see whether, if anyone is doing a really good job, can we give them more work? And if anyone's not doing that great of a job, do we need to make some changes? So we look at all of those things, and then we determine, okay, these are our rates. These were our expenses. How did we do? Because sometimes you look at your expenses and you're like, I got to raise these rates. And sometimes you look at your expenses and you're like, our profit margins are good. We don't have to raise the rates. But at the end of the day, it's a business decision and it's personal based on, you. Then we look at how much time did we take off? What was our rest plan? Did we have time to take off? Were we constantly working? How does this play a role? So you have to look at all these things. What worked, what didn't work. And then we also have our team members write in what they want more training on that would have made the year easier for them. And then we have to give bonuses too. So for our team members that have been with us for a year, typically it's a year, we give them a bonus at the end of the year, Christmas. And we want to look at the bonus that we can give them as well. Sometimes they'll get a bonus even if they haven't been with us a year. It just depends on how the year works out. But yeah, so we got to look at all that. And then we have to set our rates. So those are like some tips for how to win in Q4, like things to look at and to evaluate. And then you want to make a decision. And it should be a decision based on the numbers, based on the lifestyle, based on what you want. And then you have to look at all of your customer feedback. We just did our annual focus group. And I recommend every business do this. It's literally free. It's fun. And you can have a Zoom call with your current customers, cameras on, very chill. I don't even have my lights on and everything. It's real like chill. Like, hey girl, so what did you like about this year? What didn't you like? Where do you listen to me? What do you get the most value in? What format do you learn in? Of the things that you bought this year that were automated, what did you hate about them? What did you love about them? What would you be expecting if you're paying 20 grand for this? What would you be expecting if you're paying 5 grand for this? Like all the questions you can ask your consumers, just ask them. And what'll happen is typically the people that show up to these focus groups, you can do a blind one where people don't know you at all. Which there may be some benefit to doing that, but you have to qualify who's there. But you can also just email your audience, get on Zoom, and you record the call, and then you find out what people like, what people don't like, and you plan from there because they're the people you're going to be serving. So I think it makes sense to ask them and bring them in. It's really fun, really easy, and it's a cool time for people to meet you and talk to you in an intimate setting because we have a ton of people on our email list. But it's normally, even last year, I think we may have had 12 people show up. This year, I don't know, maybe 10, maybe 8 to 10 people showed up and we just talked and it was great. It was great. We got great feedback. It was also very, very, very encouraging. So I would highly recommend you do that as well. But yeah, so here's what I'll say, guys. Here's what I'll say. I know we've been together for about 30 minutes. I think this was super valuable based on the comments that I'm seeing from you all and the comments that I'm seeing in the back channel as well. If you enjoyed this and you are a speaker, a thought leader, or an entrepreneur that's like, I want to sell to corporate. I want behemoth clients. I want large clients that can be legacy clients. I want to land big deals for my speaking or consulting business. Or you're an influencer and you want to speak and you want to get paid for it. If that is you, you need to be at Speaker Ready Cash Live. You're probably number 80, because we have 79 speakers coming right now. And that I know we're gonna cross 80. So number 80, I don't know where you're at or where you are listening to this. It is October 1st. Here's what we're gonna do. We can't, for people who've already gotten their tickets, they're getting a welcome box. An email went out yesterday saying that you have 1 day to get your ticket. So technically that would mean you have until October 1st to get your ticket to Speaker Ready Cash Live. So you can get your ticket today and still get a welcome box. It's October 1st. It's Friday. This is it though. Because we're literally packing all these boxes and shipping everything 1-to-1. Like it's me and Chris, y'all, packing these boxes up. Okay. So make sure you go and get your ticket today, October 1st. For my podcast folks, this is October 1st, 2021 that I'm saying this. If you get your ticket by October 1st, 2021, I will still give you the welcome box because the email went out yesterday saying you have 1 more day. But this is legit the last day. Like we can't do it any longer than this. And I'm excited. I am so excited. We have so many speakers coming to this event. We, I think last year we had 50. This year we're at 79, but I know number 80 is like buying their ticket right now. So it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. So if you want the full welcome box and all that fun stuff, then get your ticket today. For everyone else, you need to get your tickets today. Like it is what it is. We're ending tickets. We're ending all ticket sales soon. Like even if you don't get the box, you won't be able to come to the event very soon just because we need to plan. We're actually going to see the venue today and I'm super excited about it. And I got an email from someone last night that was like, I'm just going to go ahead and buy my ticket. I know I have something to do that weekend, but if I can just come to 1.5 days, it's going to be worth it. And they wanted to see how we prospect corporate clients, which is in the Speak Your Way to Cash Live portal. So once you buy your ticket, you get access to the membership portal. You can log in and watch the pre-event prospecting party. And next week, I think October 4th, we have a topic Q&A. So it's a live coaching call before the event, topic Q&A, where we're going to talk about your topic and discuss the topics that corporations are willing to buy and discuss positioning. And I'll answer your questions about that, about, positioning and choosing a topic and what topic will people buy. Because I find that people want to sell stuff that corporations just won't, they won't buy. And so that's not going to work. We'll leave it at that. Like, your positioning is everything. You have to position it appropriately or else they won't even know that they should buy it, And so you have to get really good at articulating the problem you're solving for them and the value that they're getting. Because once you can do that, people don't have a problem investing. But if you're unclear about the value you provide, or you're unclear about how you can help a company get more out of their employees, then they're going to be unclear about why they should pay you the money that you're asking for. And likely, if you can't articulate value, you're not going to ask for an appropriate sum of money in any event, right? So that's that. We're going through all of that and more at the actual event. I was looking to see if I had a workbook on me or nearby. I know that we're going to go over building your six-figure proposal, Dreamer's Den, Language Lab, using the language that you actually need to use to sell to corporations, how to articulate your value. We give you a sales script. We give you an email script. We give you a script for pitching the press. I've been on TV a lot of times. I don't even know the number, but I've been on TV as an expert several times talking about just legal strategies or talking about Speak Your Way to Cash. I did a feature during March, Women's History Month, with Fox News and NBC News. And they actually did, based on the pitch, they did the section that they aired on TV, a 3-minute section, all about me talking about Speak Your Way to Cash, how amazing it was. It's on speakyourwaytocash.com. So they did the main segment that aired live on television. Then they put, and it's still up, a 15-minute or 12 to 15-minute extended segment about my life, hiring Chris, the currency of confidence, how we built the business, just like a full feature piece. They showed clips of my TEDx talk and literally no publicist. This was me reaching out. And the woman, the anchor for the show, called my cell phone personally and was like, look, I didn't respond to your first email. I didn't respond to your second email. But when you followed up the third time, I was closed. And I started researching you. And I'm so impressed that I want to do a full feature segment. Like, your pitch was masterful. I can see why you teach this. Like, you can help me out, girl. Like, she was so impressed. And it was amazing. And I was like, oh my God, this is so dope. And it was one of my first times going on air talking about Speak Your Way to Cash, my business. And it was literally for my for-profit business. They just let me sell it live in front of their millions of viewers. Like, just let me sell it. It was just a feature piece on Speak Your Way to Cash. And it was incredible. It was so incredible. And we're going to do more of that. And for those of you who don't know, you can hire a publicist. I've done it several times. I've gotten the best press features when I've pitched myself. If I hired a publicist, I would give them my pitch and be like, this is how you pitch me. Because I get pitched by publicists all the time. And the pitches are very non-specific. Like, hey, have this person on your podcast. No clue what your podcast is about, but hopefully you want to hear about them. Here's their press kit. I don't include a press kit. I don't include any of that. What I include is examples of me doing what I say I'm doing. And personally, I think that is more powerful than including like a random press kit. I also don't include, when I'm pitching speaking engagements, I'll just give you guys this little tip. I don't include a demo video. I think for conferences that really don't always pay, they want to see demo videos, and that's fine. But what I typically include is footage of me speaking about my framework. I just include the main thing, and I've never gotten pushback on it. I've never been like, no, we actually need to see a traditional speaker's reel where you're speaking on 5 different stages. I can speak, child. And when you see the TEDx or anyone, I got 2. You see it, you can tell I can speak. Now I can send testimonials and all of that. And what I have had a client ask is, can I call one of your former corporate clients? And I facilitated that. And that was really powerful. Helped us close the deal with that too. So that works. But like, at the end of the day, don't get caught up on all these things that people say are the industry norms. If 2020 has taught you nothing, it should teach you this. People are tired of the BS. Like, they're tired of like all the extras. Tell them who you are. Be honest about who you are. give them proof that you are who you say you are, and get after it and talk to people like people. I wasn't even going to talk about pitching, but like, seriously, don't do those pitches where it's like, hello, my name is, and I am going to blah, 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 like all this stuff they don't care about. Like, get after the heart of what you want. Hey, Ashley, I would love to be on the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast because I've been speaking for 25 years and grossed $8 million. Like, that pitch would get accepted on the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast. And so when I pitch other people for my services, in one line, I tell them who I am. In another line, I tell them why I'm reaching out to them. And then I bullet point what I want to teach their audience. And then I give them a very specific question to answer at the end. I would love to speak to you for 15 minutes next Tuesday. If that's okay with you, book a time here. I make it so that in one email, they can give me exactly what I want without ever having to respond and ask for any additional details. But I do not send emails with paragraphs and paragraphs of information. Like, you really got to get comfortable with the bullets. The bullets are the way to go, because people are going to skim your email and determine whether or not they want to read it in its entirety after the skim. So just keep that in mind when you're writing your emails. But copywriting, all this stuff that I'm talking about, copywriting, selling, getting to the heart of the issue, these things can be taught. These are not skills that I was born with. I learned these things over time, and I learned them by being empathetic to the people that I'm selling to, by putting myself in their shoes and assuming that they're busy like me, that they don't like their time wasted like me, and that they just want to know what I want from them, like I would want to know what someone wants from me when I'm talking to them. So sales strategy, script writing, reaching out to decision makers, figuring out who those folks are, those are all things we are going to cover at Speak Your Way to Cash Live over the 3 days. And I started to cover it in the prospecting party, which is now available for people who buy their ticket. They can just watch it in the portal. All right. So to recap, we talked about Q4, planning for Q4, how you can plan for Q4, rate versus worth. Your rate is not your worth. Your options for Q4, either you can grow, you can maintain, or you can pare it down. And side note, if you're maintaining, you still need to have some contact with your current customers. So what's your Christmas gift plan? What are you saying to them to end the year? How are you thanking them for their service? You got to think about that. If you're paring it down, that means you're making a list of, when we pared it down, this is how we handled it. We made a list of all of our clients, all of our best clients, and the ones that we absolutely did not like speaking with, that were disrespectful or that failed to pay or whatever the issues were. We made sure that we weren't working with them going into the new year, because that's not what you should be doing. Number 3, we talked about some tips to win in Q4, and some things that we evaluate when deciding how we're going to approach 2022. I told you what we evaluate. And then I told you where you should be November 4th through the 6th if you're a speaker, thought leader, or expert that is serious about landing corporate clients. And I want to say this because I know there's some people that are like, man, I'm a 10 next year. I talked to my husband about this yesterday. I don't know if there'll be a next year, being 100% honest. If there is, it won't be 3 days. And it won't be like this. So I would recommend, if you like the content that we're putting out this year and you really want to glean from the wisdom that we have about the speaking business, selling to corporations, etc., then I would hop on the bandwagon now. Because you can never assume that you'll have opportunities to do things in the future, because people change, evolve, and grow. People who attended the first Speak Your Way to Cash Live years ago, 10 people in a conference room for like a couple $100. If any of you right now, if Speak Your Way to Cash was a couple $100, you'd be like, oh my gosh, like I will jump on that. It's not, like our rate, Speak Your Way to Cash is $1,200 if you get a virtual ticket, $2,500 if you do the VIP in-person ticket. It's a real investment. Obviously, we've grown over the years. Our knowledge has grown. The way we've served our clients has grown. The way that we provide the service to you all has grown and improved. Everything has grown and improved. And because of that, our rates grow and improve. And next year, we will continue to grow. One thing about me, you can bet your bottom's dollar, okay, that I am going to grow. And that means if you want to work with me now and you have the opportunity and you can do it, don't give me your rent money, your mortgage money, keep all of that. If you're in that position, do not give me that, right? But if you are someone who can feasibly come, it will not put you out financially, and you do want the knowledge to shorten your learning curve, then you need to be in the room. Simple as that. So make happen whatever got to happen, right? We already got our babysitter. We got babies. We got a baby. So we got our babysitter for that weekend. She's actually going to be joining us at the hotel with little boo. We got her hotel room, so she can be there all 3 days because, we need time. and just prepare and plan. But what I can say is, if you want your 2022 to be more powerful than it's ever been, then you need to get information that you may not have had this year. That's how you grow. That's how I grow. That's how most people grow. They get better information to act upon. And we are going to have some incredible information at Speak Your Way to Cash Live. So get your ticket. Join me. Be in the room. All right. Now, at 10 a.m., I have to hop off now, train one of my team members. Hey, and at 10 a.m., I will be on Clubhouse only, not all these other apps. I'll be on Clubhouse only with some folks who've attended Speak Your Way to Cash Live in the past, so that we can tell you guys the mindset shifts they needed to make in order to take advantage of the information. And even maybe I'll even ask them some mistakes they made when they attended their first Speak Your Way to Cash Live. Because let me tell you something, we got repeat customers over here. All right, people come to Speak Your Way to Cash once, twice, 3 times. We have someone who's been to 5 Speak Your Way to Cash Lives. So people who come keep coming. So I want to ask them, like, what do you wish you would have done at Speak Your Way to Cash that you didn't do? Or what questions were you afraid to ask so that you all can make the most out of your experience? So whether you're coming to the event or you're someone who is you're curious about coming, but you have not got your ticket yet, you need to meet us on Clubhouse. It is literally going to be life-changing discussion. I think we have like 5 or 10 former event attendees that'll be on Clubhouse with me at 10 a.m. talking about their Speak Your Way to Cash experience and what they would have done to get the most out of their first experience and all of that. And we did add more opportunities for you all to network with each other. So imagine that. 79, I know number 80. Number 80, you're out there. Okay, so whoever you are, number 80 may be out there, right? But we're gonna have 80 plus speakers. We're just gonna say it. We're gonna have 80 plus speakers in the building who are all powerful, all dynamic, and all investing. There's something really powerful about being in a room where everyone's invested at a high level to get the knowledge. Your next business opportunity may be in the room. I have literally gone to conferences where I've gotten so much business from the attendees that I go to the conference every year just to meet the other people that are going to be there, because literally that can happen. So you want to get in the room with other bosses such as yourself, other speakers, other leaders, and you all can refer each other business. So once you start pitching for your speaking contracts, once you start landing corporate clients, you may get a contract so big that you want to share it with someone else that you're not doing all of the work. Speak Your Way to Cash is a great community to get that type of information in. Someone said, this is why I've invested. We feel the same way about it. My offers may or may not be available at the current rates or at all in the future days. So stop delaying and take action. Yep. True. So yeah, if you want to work with me, I would get in now, man, because this book is going to release. Our rates are going to go up. The people that we serve may shift. And so I want you all to get this good info and hang out with me for 3 days in November. If you've enjoyed the last 45 minutes, imagine what 3 days will be like. Okay, it's going to be off the chain. And y'all will get to see my really cool outfit choices that I'm currently working on. It's like being Cinderella hosting an event. So I'm like the hairstylist, the makeup artist, the stylist, all the things. All right, so we're preparing. Thank you, Siri. Siri is letting us know that it's time to go. All right, so thank you guys so much. I will see you guys at the event. It's November 4th through the 6th, the #1 event for speakers, thought leaders, experts, and anyone else who wants to make corporate contracts a large part of their revenue stream in 2022. You need to be at Speak Your Way to Cash Live so you can learn how we use the paid method to skyrocket speaking careers. All right. So I will see you guys there. Thank you so much for joining me. And if this video was helpful, if you got some great ideas for what to do during Q4 to take it to the next level, then please share it with a friend, tag a friend in it. That is literally how you say thank you to me for putting out such good content. And I will see you guys later.
All right. Wasn't that interview amazing? If you're anything like me, you have pages full of notes. But here's the thing. Before you head out, I want you to go to facebook.com and join the Speak Your Way to Cash Facebook group. That is where I am. That's where a ton of other speakers are, a ton of other people who listen to the show. We all congregate there and chat. And it's 100% free. Now, if you're ready to take your speaking career to the next level, I have 2 ways for you to do that. One, you can go to ashleynicolekirkwood.com/SYWTC live replay and pick up the live replay. That training is 7 modules, chock full of information. It's crazy. Go over there, read all about it. Or if you want a more personal experience, you're already
you already know that you want to be a speaker. You're ready to fully commit and you want someone to walk you through it and save you tons of time Googling and doing it on your own, then book a VIP day with me. You can go to AshleyNicoleKirkwood.com, scroll down until you see the VIP day section and get more information on that there. All right. Thank you guys again for watching. Please do not forget to leave us a review. That is how we keep this train rolling and get some of the best speakers in the world to get on this show. So please, please, please leave a review. Shoot me a message on Facebook or Instagram, and Facebook in the Speaker Ready Cash group, Instagram at the Ashley Nicole Show. And I'd be more than happy to chat with you and say hi. All right, y'all have an awesome, awesome day.